I was 9 when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin took those first steps on the moon, and that has got to be the coolest job ever. So that's what I wanted to do. I dreamed of being an astronaut. Of course, I wasn't telling a lot of people because I was an Iowa farm kid, so who would have ever thought that I could be an astronaut? The year I graduated from high school was the year they picked the first female astronauts, and I'm like, wow, maybe I can. And one of them happened to be a biochemist. And I was like, I'm interested in biology and chemistry, and maybe this will work out. This could be really cool. I think that's when it changed from being a dream into being a goal for me. I always kind of feel that your path in life is not necessarily exactly a straight line. And it's important in looking back at those times and knowing that 10 years of applications turned out to be some of the most important times of my life. And that's something to keep in mind, because if you are always trying to make the most of your situation, even if you're not exactly where you want to be, you can always achieve so much more than you might even imagine. I think probably becoming the first female and non-military chief of the astronaut office was probably the most meaningful to me, partly because it was maybe something I hadn't ever envisioned. After I'd flown in space once, I thought, hey, I could command the station, and it worked out, and I got to be the first female commander, which wasn't as important to me as actually being the commander. But yeah. The strength of NASA is having those different thought processes. And it's not just those thought processes, as you said, of gender or ethnicity. But on board the International Space Station, this whole vehicle, which is the length of a football field long, the pressurized section is greater than a 747. It's got 15 school bus-sized modules connected together for that pressurized section. Each of the solar array wings is 115 feet long. It was built in space, traveling at 17,500 miles an hour, and from pieces and parts that came from all over the world. I think that's just a huge testament of what that kind of a diversity can bring together and the capability that we have. And, on a much smaller scale on board the space station, as crews, we, tried to engender and promote those differences because it is important. And I think the strength of the astronaut office is having those different thought processes. There's all different kinds of backgrounds and approaches to problems and how to solve things. And it is the human element that makes every group stronger, in my opinion. The other thing that always strikes me about looking out the window is when you look away from the planet. And this is a time-lapse photography taken during my last mission of the Milky Way. And that's just one galaxy. It's our galaxy. And you can see there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of stars. And when you realize that we are one of billions and billions and billions of galaxies, it gives you this other perspective. So you go from looking at planet Earth, where this is our world, this is everything, this is all of us. And then you look out and you see this huge expanse and realize, we're not even a grain of sand in the cosmos. I think this is important no matter what your age is. You have to live a little bit outside your comfort zone. And this is me inside a cargo bag. You gotta get out of your cargo bag and get your act together, because there is so much more to life and you can't even always know what it's gonna be. So challenge yourself to live outside what's easy for you. Do something that's hard for you. Don't be afraid of failure, because the failures will make you even stronger the next time you try.